Hello and welcome to my video overview of telnetport25.com's Exchange 2010 Update Management System. The Update Management System is version 1.5, or the next generation release of a tool that I wrote about a month ago, which was called the RUPS tool, which was predominantly designed to facilitate roll-ups being applied to mailbox servers within Exchange 2010 configurations that were DAG based. However, over the period of time, I've begun to sort of think of the role of the tool within a wider scale service pack and roll-up ecosystem on multiple role servers. So whether you have a hub transport or a client access server, unified messaging or edge, I wanted to expand the abilities of the tool out into a more functional piece that could serve administrators as a sort of one-stop console for their updating needs. So without further ado, I'll just fire up the latest version of the tool. As I said, it's 1.5. I've renamed it the executable to Exchange 2010 UMS Update Management System. So double clicking on the program, as you can see, I've added a splash screen to the software, pulled some basic Windows information and some version information about the tool out. Apart from looking sort of semi-pretty, the reason why the splash screen is in there is I've made some changes to the back-end code as the tool loads. So it executes a few PowerShell functions to determine what roles are resident on the server where the tool has been run. So this is just put in place to let you know that the software is actually doing something. So now that the tool is fired up, you can see that the interface has changed slightly, not overly so, but there are obviously some new bits within the interface. For example, here we have detected exchange roles, which gives you basically a functional list of the roles that have been found resident on the server that the tool's been executed on. You'll notice that there's a check to see if it's actually a DAG member. This will either be yes or no. To the right hand side, you can see the tips window is still present, but there's a sort of little window below it which includes just sort of like a visual aid memoir of what the best practice recommendation order for upgrading Exchange servers is. So you're looking at your internet facing client access servers, internal facing client access servers, hub transport, edge, mailbox, and then unified messaging upgraded last, and these sort of recommendations apply for both roll-ups and service packs. The software now, as I said, is multi-role. So as we have we're on a mailbox server that is a member of DAG, you'll see the DAG operations window is enabled, running the tool on a server that's just a mailbox server or any other role. This window, you'll see that there is a new entry for Microsoft Forefront Protection Path. What this actually does is it scans the registry now and has a look for the FSC controller service. Once it's determined that directory, it then finds FSC utility. .exe. Basically, there was some problems in the old versions where Forefront services weren't disabled properly, so this bit of code helps detect the path where Forefront is installed on the server. And then when you go to the advanced menu, you'll see stop Forefront services and start Forefront services. If Forefront is enabled or installed on the machine, these menu options are okay to use. If you don't have Forefront installed, this path will say not installed, and these options will be greyed out. The Start Forefront Services is a new feature which does exactly what it says on the tin. Once you've done modifying your Exchange server, you can start the Forefront services and reintegrate them with the Exchange services just by clicking on that option. Okay, the tool still operates predominantly in the same way it did in its previous versions, with one subtle change. And path to update, when you click browse and select your update, this no longer automatically populates the DAG operations window. The main reason for this being is that as I wanted to support multiple roles, it didn't make any sense to do an automated check for DAG if the server wasn't a member of a DAG. So what you have to do now is DAG member yes, you click on populate, and the functionality from there on in is pretty much the same. To prepare your DAG server for maintenance, you click on prepare, which executes the sub-process of start DAG server maintenance.ps1, which is a script supplied with Exchange 2010 from Service Pack 1 and above, which in effect prepares DAG servers for roll-up updates or maintenance operations, and transfers databases off, stops replication, makes sure that databases can't be activated on the server, and pauses the cluster node, the actual node within the failover clustering service. When the script has finished executing, you'll see in the command output window there's a summary of what the script actually did. This will also contain any errors from the console output, which you can investigate and export should you need to. Once you've placed your DAG server in maintenance mode, and if you do have Forefront installed and detected on the server, I then recommend that you go to Advanced, Stop Forefront Services. You'll get an alert that basically tells you that this only happens if you're on a DAG, and that the server appears to be part of a DAG configuration, and that stopping the Forefront services will disrupt the information store service and therefore the DAG. So it asks you if you have placed the server in DAG maintenance. If you haven't, click no, and it will populate and basically let you go through the DAG operations. But as we have, we just click yes. And what we then do is wait for the program to shut down three services, which are the Microsoft Exchange Information Store Service, the Microsoft Transport Service if it's installed, and the FSC Controller Service, which is part of Forefront. And as you can see, penultimate, as the last step, it then executes FSC utility /disable, and the output here is generated into the console window. And if we jump into just to sort of prove that we've been successful, if we go to FSC utility, what we should see is that the service is stopped and Forefront protection is not integrated. It's at this point that we are okay to go and click apply to run through our update process. Of course, clicking apply will terminate the application. The reason why the application terminates is because it uses PowerShell, and Exchange will detect the fact that an application has a PowerShell session open, and will actually fail. So the application self-terminates. But if we now assume that we've run through our update and it's all tickety-boo, what we could do is I can show you the process to get your server back into the land of the living. Fire up the tool again. This is assuming that you've gone through a reboot, or as I said, the application will have closed down. So if you go back into it, I just wait for it to fire up. Now that we've run our update and we're quite happy with the way things are, we go back to Advanced and start Forefront Services. Again, it'll ask us whether we have prepared our DAG for maintenance. Now, of course, after the update, the DAG should still be in maintenance mode, so we can click on yes. This will then go away and start the relevant Forefront services. And when this is completed, we can have a look here and see how we're doing. So as you can see, we're all running again, and we're currently integrated. So we now want to resume our cluster, or what we effectively are doing is stopping DAG server maintenance. So we're bringing the DAG node back into operation within the cluster. We'll wait for this to complete. So what we are seeing now is that that command has executed successfully, and we can then click on, if we want to, this is an optional step, click on the redistribute button, which will basically redistribute all of the database copies across the DAG member servers appropriately according by activation preference. So we're being prompted here for some input, so we can say yes. And basically this is just asking us to confirm, do we want the mailboxes to be moved to where we need to bit them to be. And you can see that we get an output of that command there. So, I hope that you've enjoyed this overview of 1.5 of the Exchange 2010 Update Management System. There'll be a couple of other videos that show you what the tool actually looks like on servers and how it performs on servers with other Exchange roles and servers that aren't part of DAG configurations. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers, bye bye.